Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This time we're going to talk about a very interesting robot story. The movie we'll be discussing is Big Hero 6. Now, this film is an animated feature that adapts characters from Marvel Comics, which were acquired by Disney at that time. Big Hero 6 received accolades at the Academy Awards and was directed by Don Hall and Chris Williams. The voice cast includes Scott Adsit as Baymax, Ryan Potter as Hiro, and Daniel Henney as Tadashi Hamada. Some of you may have already watched this film, but for those who haven't, feel free to watch it here. Grab your blankets, prepare your snacks, and enjoy watching. The movie opens with a breathtaking view of the city named San Fransokyo, a combination of San Francisco and Tokyo. In a corner of the city, there seems to be a gang engaged in a mini robot battle. Yama emerges victorious in the battle with his robot named Lee Toyama, earning him the prize money. After Yama issues the next challenge, a teenage boy suddenly volunteers with a robot he built himself. Initially laughed at and told to leave, the boy, named Hiro Hamada, manages to pay the entry fee, convincing Yama to accept the challenge. Hiro's robot is called Mega Board, and the match begins. With just 2 blows, Mega Board is sliced into pieces, and Lee Toyama once again emerges victorious. However, Hiro Hamada requests a rematch, claiming it to be his first fight. In this rematch, Hiro reveals the true power of Mega Board. Yama becomes furious, seizing Mega Board from Hiro. Fortunately, Tadashi arrives and saves Hiro. Tadashi is Hiro's older brother. They attempted to escape while Mega Board attacked Yama to free itself. Mega Board then followed Hiro. It's worth noting that Hiro is an exceptionally brilliant child, having completed high school at the age of 13. In their attempts to escape, a police patrol unexpectedly intercepted them, leading to their arrest and confinement. A short while later, they were released by Aunt Cass, who had been taking care of them. Upon arriving home, Hiro immediately goes to his computer to search for another illegal robot fight. Tadashi reprimands him and tries to stop him, but Hiro pays no heed. Tadashi agrees to take him to the robot betting location. However, Tadashi actually takes Hiro to the San Fransokyo Institute of Technology, where Tadashi is studying under the pretext of wanting to retrieve something. Tadashi invited Hiro to his campus to show him the atmosphere of the lab and introduce him to his friends in the nerd club. They included Gogo Tamago, a tomboyish girl interested in machines and speed. Wasabi, focused on his laser plasma research that could cut through anything. Honey Lemon, a girl who enjoyed mixing chemicals to create new and innovative chemical reactions. And finally, the campus mascot in his monster costume. Fred, not particularly interested in science, was only drawn to comics and dreamt of becoming a hero someday. After the introductions, Tadashi took Hiro to his research home. There, Tadashi deliberately made Hiro scream, causing his arm to hurt, which revealed a red-colored box opening. This was Baymax, a personal health companion or a nursing robot designed to react when someone screams in pain. Baymax scanned Hiro and found a scrape on his arm. Tadashi explained that Baymax was a healthcare companion robot programmed with over 10,000 medical procedures embedded in a chip on its upper left chest. Unlike typical robot depictions, Baymax was made of comfortable, huggable flannel material. Baymax would cease its care once the person in distress expressed satisfaction with its service. While engrossed in conversation, they were suddenly interrupted by someone cutting off the siblings' discussion. This person turned out to be Professor Robert Callian, the inventor of the magnetic system and robotic laws. Due to his interest in robots, Professor Callian offered Hiro Hamada admission to the San Fransokyo Institute of Technology, regardless of his young age. The next day, Tadashi explained to Hiro Hamada that every year, the Fransokyo Institute holds a student exhibition. Works that impress Professor Callian will be chosen for admission as students. Stuck for ideas, Tadashi decided to flip Hiro upside down to spark a fresher perspective. In this moment, Hiro saw Mega Board, and suddenly an idea struck him. Hiro rushed to the garage to work, and eventually, he succeeded in creating thousands of small black-colored objects. Long story short, the awaited day arrived. On the stage, Hiro presented the control device on his head and then pulled out and displayed the small black objects from his jacket pocket. Hiro explained that these microbots would be useless on their own, but when combined with other microbots, they would become something very useful. This drew the audience at the exhibition closer to the stage, witnessing what Hiro was presenting. Through his work, everyone watching the presentation was amazed, including Alistair Krei, the president of Krei Technology. After the presentation, Mr. Krei approached Hiro to see his creation and expressed interest in having the microbots in his factory. However, before Hiro could respond to the offer, Professor Callahan arrived. Despite being offered a substantial amount of money, Hiro decided not to sell his microbots. Tadashi then asked Mr. Krei to return his brother's microbots. After Mr. Krei left, Professor Kalin came and handed Hiro an envelope containing an application form to enroll as a student at the Fransokyo Institute of Technology, as Hiro was about to celebrate his success for the acceptance of his invention at the campus. They suddenly heard the building alarm go off. Tadashi and Hiro rushed towards the building, witnessing people scattering out. It turned out that the exhibition building was on fire. Knowing that Professor Callahan was still inside the blazing building, Tadashi bravely entered to rescue him. The building exploded shortly after Tadashi entered, and he perished in the incident. After the event, Hiro became quiet and secluded in his room following his brother's death. Here, accidentally dropping his megaboard, it hit his foot and activated Baymax, his brother's robot, which promptly asked Hiro to undergo medical care. However, Hiro refused and forced Baymax to deflate. Unfortunately, this effort failed and instead caused Hiro to fall under the bed. Hiro found one of his active microbots. Initially, he found it strange since the microbot should be attracted to other microbots, but this one was the only remaining. Out of curiosity, Baymax then scanned the microbot. Hiro, engrossed with his robot, instructed Baymax to find out where the microbot would go on its own. Eventually, Hiro followed and brought them both to an old, abandoned warehouse. There, they found someone utilizing a large number of microbots. While investigating, someone suddenly activated and controlled all the microbots to attack Hiro and Baymax. After a struggle, they managed to escape and went to the police station to report the incident. The police were skeptical about the masked figure attack and requested Hiro to provide his parents' phone number to pick him up. At that moment, Hiro and Baymax disappeared from the police's presence. When Baymax was placed in the charging pod, he suddenly called out Tadashi's name, surprising Hiro and waking him up. Seeing his microbots, Hiro suddenly assumed that the fire that caused Tadashi's death might not have been a mere accident. Finally, Hiro decided to capture the masked man. Here, Hiro proceeded to create a carbon fiber costume for Baymax and inserted the downloaded combat chip into his body. Satisfied with the preparation, they set out to the old warehouse he visited during the day, armed with microbots as clues. Hiro and Baymax continued to search for the mysterious figure. Unbeknownst to them, a weaponized car followed them. Then, a shadow emerged from the water, revealing the masked Kabuki holding a shipping crate. Startling Hiro and his friends without wasting time, Kabuki Mask ordered his henchmen to leave and then instructed Baymax to capture him. However, Hiro's expectations did not match reality. Suddenly, Baymax appeared hovering from the night sky. They decided to flee while Kabuki Mask continued to pursue them. Suddenly, Wasabi stopped his car for no apparent reason, triggering frustration within the group. Their frustration escalated when Ogi turned on his signal lights. Here, Gogo took over the steering wheel out of frustration with Wasabi's strict adherence to traffic rules in such a critical situation. After being cornered by the microbots, they eventually managed to escape but ended up submerged in the sea. Baymax quickly came to rescue them, pulling them to the surface, wet and cold. The six friends finally arrived at Fred's house. Fred then showed a picture of a swallow he had seen before and asked if anyone recognized the symbol. Fred hypothesized that Mr. Krei was the Kabuki Mask, as he was the one who most desired the microbots. However, Hiro remained doubtful. In confusion, Baymax mentioned that the person had AB blood type. Hiro then had the idea to upgrade their friends by creating superhero costumes and weapons for each. Here, Honey Lemon was given a ball containing chemical substances as her weapon, Gogo with her colorful discs, Wasabi with plasma knives, and Fred with an elastic monster costume that could also shoot fire. Hiro also introduced Baymax version 2.0, equipped with rocket fist weapons that could retract. Starting to further amaze their friends. Baymax opened his wings and with Hiro on his back, commanded him to fly. Together they soared through the sky. Here Hiro then asked Baymax to activate his super sensor. He scanned the entire city and its surroundings, easily finding a match and pointing to an island across the water. Hiro and his friends decided to head to the island, landing at a location sealed by the government. Suddenly they screamed and unleashed all their weapons. Interestingly, it turned out to be a pigeon. They eventually entered an apparently unused lab, but due to the building's construction, Baymax's sensor malfunctioned. In the control room, Hiro opened a monitor containing videos showing Krei introducing his project called Silent Sparrow to a general and others. The video revealed a failed teleportation experiment that resulted in the death of a female pilot named Abigail due to Mr. Krei's negligence, who insisted on continuing the experiment without disclosing the energy instability in his teleportation machine. Due to the accident, the island and laboratory were closed by the government. Shortly after, from the rear, Kabuki Mask appeared and attacked them. Hiro asked his friends to retrieve the microbot's control transmitter behind Kabuki Mask's. Their hard efforts paid off after Hiro knocked down his adversary, causing the mask to fall off. Hiro quickly grabbed it, revealing the person behind the mask to be Professor Callahan. Apparently, the professor survived the fire incident after stealing Hiro's microbots. Knowing that Tadashi's death was in vain, Hiro became angry and ordered Baymax to kill the professor. Hiro then opened an access port, took Baymax's healthcare chip, and threw it away, instantly turning Baymax into a killing machine targeting the professor. Hiro's friends tried to stop Baymax several times, but eventually, Honey Lemon inserted the healthcare chip, restoring Baymax to normal. Now, Professor Kalen quickly grabbed the Kabuki mask that slipped from his hand and fled with the microbots. Hiro was angry and disappointed with his friends for obstructing Baymax from capturing Professor Kalian. He and Baymax immediately went home to fix Baymax's damaged scanner. After repairing Baymax's scanner, Hiro attempted to open the healthcare chip again but was blocked by Baymax. Baymax tried to calm Hiro by showing a video of Tadashi's failed tests on Baymax, where he kept trying until he succeeded. Seeing Tadashi's efforts in creating Baymax made Hiro realize that killing Professor Callahan was not what Tadashi would have wanted. Here, Hiro's friends finally arrived and promised to help him capture Professor Callahan the right way. Furthermore, Lemon replayed the unfinished video they had seen in the lab earlier. In the video, they finally learned that the test pilot trapped and killed in the teleportation portal was Professor Callahan's daughter. They concluded that Professor Callahan sought revenge against Mr. Krei for the death of his daughter. On a bright morning in a building, Mr. Krei gave a speech at the opening of his factory. However, not long after, thousands of microbots suddenly emerged from the top of the building, causing the attending guests to scatter. Professor Callahan controlled the microbots, captured Mr. Krei and the teleportation machine, lifting it atop the building to merge them. He then supported it to keep the machine active. Slowly, objects around it were easily drawn into the portal. Professor Callahan did this as a form of revenge, using the same method as his daughter who was sucked into the portal. Hiro and his friends arrived and tried to prevent Professor Callahan from acting further, fueled by the burning desire for revenge for his daughter's loss. The professor ignored Hiro and attacked them immediately. After a quite exhausting battle, Hiro found a way to defeat Professor Callahan. The solution was to let all the microbots be sucked into the portal. Lemon threw her chemical ball and Fred spewed fire, generating a lot of smoke, limiting Professor Callahan's vision. This caused Professor Callahan to be unaware that Hiro's friends were destroying the microbots from below so that everything could be sucked into the portal. Baymax then took the kabuki mask and crushed it, rendering all the microbots uncontrollable. The teleportation machine fell and hit the ground but remained active, continuously pulling nearby objects into it. Here, Hiro asked Krei how to stop the machine. However, the machine couldn't be stopped because its magnetic field containment had been damaged. Baymax then pointed to the portal, detecting signs of life from Abigail, Professor Callahan's daughter. Hiro decided to enter the portal with Baymax to find and rescue Abigail. Indeed, Abigail was inside, soundly asleep. They were trying to exit, and Baymax attempted to push Hiro with his height to get out safely. However, at this point, Baymax asked Hiro to express satisfaction with his service. However, Hiro refused to do so because by uttering those words, Baymax would become inactive and stay inside the portal forever. Hiro didn't want to lose Baymax. Considering the increasingly limited time, eventually, with deep sadness, Hiro hugged Baymax and expressed satisfaction with his service. Along with that, the rocket fist was fired, and Baymax was propelled deeper into the portal. Meanwhile, Hiro held the capsule and slid out of the portal. A few moments later, the portal exploded. Hiro landed safely with Abigail, but Baymax was not found anywhere. Later, an ambulance arrived to provide care for the now conscious Abigail and take her to the hospital. Meanwhile, Professor Callahan was arrested by the police to be held accountable for his actions. Thanks to their heroic actions, Hiro and his friends became headline news on TV. In short, one day in Tadashi's workspace, Hiro took the Baymax rocket figure and noticed something inside it. Apparently, it was Baymax's healthcare chip containing all the personalities created by Tadashi. Using the healthcare chip, Hiro recreated Baymax. With hopeful anticipation, Baymax finally reactivated and greeted Hiro once again. Now, equipped with their superhero costumes, Hiro, Hamada, Baymax, and their friends can protect many people. Fulfilling Tadashi's hope to help others, the film then concluded. That's the story of Big Hero 6. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. See you in the next video.